Good morning, welcome to a morning review. This is Kim Watson speaking for Ezeetrader on Thursday, the 22nd of October. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday it came back down to my trend line I'd drawn. We sort of stepped through it today, so sort of gone a bit sideways through it, so it's not as strong as if it had broken down clearly. But it's effectively stepped out there. It is at the moment sitting on our lower band here, so whether or not that will provide sufficient support this morning, we'll see. But in all other respects, it looks relatively weak in the sort of intermediate terms, but we're seeing these candles coming in with lower highs, lower lows. And when we look at the 60-minute here, sort of more confirmed, but the problem is we're seeing this sort of chop, and yesterday we saw the sort of a shove up and then a move back down. The previous day we saw a bit of a shove up, and although the sort of trend looks pretty much to the downside, once again we're seeing a little bit of a shove. Whether this will break this morning's trend line here and push up towards the R1, we'll see. But obviously we've got news coming out later today, which is sort of sort of game-changing news, effectively. So if we see something coming out of this news, it's most likely to stick and give us more direction in terms of where we're going for the intermediate future. Okay, so that's the euro looking relatively weak, but I'm just watching for these opposite type spikes before it eventually yields. So. But of course, with news today, it may give us a clearer yielding. Okay, the pound, another one that's not been the most easy in terms of what we're seeing here earlier on in the week, particularly. It looked like it was going to break this trend line at some point. Now, the supply area that we've got sitting around this 155 area seems to be killing it effectively at the moment. Yesterday, we at least saw a sort of a short-term break of this movement. However, now we're down to those 4-hourly 50, which we've had a little break of. As I see it at the moment, we've put a lower high in on this 4-hourly time frame, and well, if we break the 50 MA, we could be on for the weekly pivot. If it continues as it is, well, it could just continue in a bit more of a choppy zone. I've looked at it in the shorter time frame, the hourly here, and well, perhaps a break of the daily pivot here may push us up towards the 50 and maybe back to the R1. However, my preference is to see a break of the low here and a bit more of a continuation to the downside. So if we maybe see break of this low, then looking for the 200, we'll probably be testing that 4-hourly 50 again, and then maybe looking down for the S1 and the weekly pivot. Okay, that's the pound, dollar yen. Dollar yen's actually had a trend over the last week. It's actually been trending its way up relatively to how it normally sits in this sort of choppy old market where we've been just seeing chop for like a lot of last month. We've actually seen a couple of trends, a little trend down, a little trend up, and at the moment it just looks like it's just rolling here again. It did manage to push up into the 200 MA sitting up here. But that's provided decent resistance at the moment on the 4-hourlies. As I say at the moment, in the bigger picture or intermediate picture, we're really in this upward trend. We've broken part of that trend line at the moment, but if we were to push back up and break this trend line here, I'd be looking for the long side back up to yesterday's highs. At the moment, it looks like it could just consolidate or even roll over a little bit further. It's already back down towards the S2 area here, so from a range wise, as we're sitting at the moment, we're almost pretty much there. Finally, let's have a look at the Aussie dollar. Okay, Aussie dollar continuing in this downward movement on the dailies. We're seeing we found a bit of support into that 21, but it's broken today, and it looks like we're heading back down towards the daily 50, maybe beyond. Again, could be running into a bit of a swing sell side of things here. Say yesterday it broke that wedge pattern. It's broken out of that now. Let's have a look down to the hourlies. Problem I have in a sense today is the range it's already done with the news events. The business confidence coming out earlier on, and this sort of move at 5 o'clock this morning not really particularly helped matters at all in terms of looking for direction. Again, it's pretty much done its range, so it makes life quite difficult in terms of what's going on here. I was just checking the reasoning behind this sort of move here at 5 o'clock, and it would appear that it's a ripple caused by the CBA in Australia, which has followed Westpac's 20 percentage points of increase on mortgages. Now, it's then expected, investors are speculating that the Reserve Bank of Australia will reduce, soften interest rates to counter this. So hence the move down here at 5 o'clock. So all in all, it may get back to prior trend before that action occurred, but at the moment it is looking relatively weak. Okay, that's just about it. There's nothing else for me. As I say, today news-wise, we've got the European minimum bid rate at 12.45. That in itself, unless there's a statement that comes out with it talking about further measures, it may not do the big hit. The big hit may be at 1:30 when Draghi speaks at the ECB press conference. Side of that, in the UK at 9:30, we've got retail sales. Just checking through the list here. We've got a speaker at 9:20, actually, an MPC speaker, just checking, due to speak at the annual International Banking Conference in London. So we have got a London speaker. Maybe create a bit of volatility at 9:20. I'm not expecting massive. Retail sales could be more significant at 9:30, and then we run into, if you're following the Canadian dollar, they've got retail sales coming at 1:30. At the same time, we've got the ECB press conference statement and coming from Draghi. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great day. Bye for now.